everybody, Shagdog, Spit or Swallow beer review here. We're doing our drinking and thinking, not reviewing a beer. I'm drinking a Miller Lite. A historic beer, but unfortunately, the Miller family, Frederick Miller, his granddaughter, sold the company, most of the shares, to either one of those cigarette companies, I can't remember. And eventually got the beer company, went from here to there to South African brewery companies, and now, of course, Coors Molson owns it now, basically. So, what a fucking shame, right? Hopefully, somebody from the Miller family gets rich and buys the company back, because, you know, why would you want it? What a dumb bitch, right? Anyhow, drinking and thinking. Usually, I just drink some beers, talk about stuff. Tonight, I'm going to talk about Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson, right? Now, Janet Jackson, all through the 80s and 90s. Her first album came out in the mid, maybe 83, 84. Wasn't too popular. But then when she came out with Nasty, what the hell is that? Control? Was that Control? Nasty Boys and Let's Wait a While and Pleasure Prince. Was that Pleasure? I can't remember. Anyhow, the songs that she had were great. First, second album. And of course, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s was the Black Cat, Rhythm Nation. She got a little bit more militant. Some of the songs were still good, but then you can see Janet Jackson going off the distance. But she was still relevant, you know. And then mid to late 90s, I mean 93, I think she came out, 92, 93. The one album, not too many great songs off that one, but she did have the That's the Way Love Goes. Not a bad song. A little hippie-ish. She got a little hippie-ish. And then, I guess through the 90s, she did remain a little relevant, but she didn't have good albums like she did before. And then comes the, what was that, 2004 Super Bowl? 2002, 2004, whatever hell it was. The boob incident. Let me take a sip. Hold on. Considered like an icon diva at that point, really. Didn't have any new stuff really going on, but she's still relevant. And then the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson Super Bowl fiasco. Now I think it was planned because she had supposedly some paisley on her. I didn't see a paisley when they ripped her when it came off. Me and my two brothers were watching the Super Bowl. I can't remember what teams were playing that year, but we were watching the halftime show and they're talking. And I'm looking at the TV when it happened, and he did that thing, pulled her shirt, titty flopped out. They didn't even see it. They were talking to each other. I was like, you see, and it happened so fast, she covered it. And I was like, man, he pulled her shirt and titty popped out. They're like, huh? I'm like, yeah. And that's what happened, really. I don't even know if there's a paisley thing on it, really. They probably edited it, you know, how the government does stuff. Put a paisley on there if you can find old videos. You might find the original video. I think it was nipple. Anyhow, they say she had the thing on her nip. I don't think she did. But it was so quick, he pulled it, and she's like... So, who knows, right? But anyhow, that was almost one of the first things of cancellation in that time period, early 2000s. They canceled Janet Jackson because of that. And they didn't cancel Justin Timberlake. He's the one that pulled the shit. But she got canceled. And then I remember a few years ago, all the talk about Janet Jackson all through the years, probably even during Michael Jackson's funeral, was the titty incident. That's it. And then I can't remember if it was about 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe even 7. I forget. She was on Jimmy Fallon's show, so it might have been, I don't know how long ago, but their big comeback, I guess, you know. And she came out with a debut song or whatever the hell it was, and it was more African tribal stuff. And I was like, what the hell is this? And everybody's dressed African, tribal, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's not Janet Jackson. Where the hell's the sweet Janet Jackson from her 80s or early 90s, you know? That's what she needs to go back to. So that didn't work. I mean, she still was irrelevant. Even Jimmy Fallon tried to push her, and she was still irrelevant. So my question is, Any other woman whose titty popped out back in those days probably would still be relevant. You know why? Because when her titty popped out, it wasn't just Janet Jackson's titty popped out. It was Michael Jackson's titty popping out because she looks like Michael. All the work Michael's done, I don't know how much work at that time Janet has done, but they looked similar. So her one titty popped out, and all people could think of is Michael with a titty. That's why Janet Jackson became irrelevant. Now, she looked totally different. Didn't look like Michael. She might be relevant. Okay, that's all I got to talk about that right now. Now, my other subject, Ukraine. Hey, we got some comments. Hey, thanks for commenting. PA Brew News, yes. I can't complain about a good titty flop. And I guess you're speaking of Miss Jackson. Yep, haha. Jackson, if you're nasty. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, yes. Now, my other complaint this week is I've been looking at the Ukrainian mail order brides the last couple of weeks. Yeah. When it started as Russian talk I was like, wow, $2,000 to $10,000 for a mail order bride from Ukraine. And I'm thinking even Romania, Poland, countries that are close there, afraid of getting invaded, because it's going to eventually happen. It's almost like Germany all over again. The prices should come down. They should be wanting to come to America, but these companies are keeping the prices they're still $2,000 to $10,000 for a Ukrainian mail order bride. Now I don't know if the $2,000 are really ugly ones with a nice accent, but they're ugly as shit. Who wants to get a mail order bride with a nice accent? I mean, you have to have sex with the lights off all the time. Or the $10,000 ones are good looking, but yeah. Anyhow, you know what I'm saying. So you figure the prices be coming down. They're probably trying to get out of there. But the companies that own them, because there's probably some type of slave thing going on there, they're not going to lower the price. As a matter of fact, they're probably going to increase in the next couple of weeks, probably. I wouldn't mind an Eastern. I like Eastern European women, their accents and everything, but you know most of them get over here and they get with each other. I think they only got to be married for 2 years and they can divorce and stay here. I think it's 2 years. Pretty sure. Because a lot of guys I know when I was in the Army married Korean women, and after 2 years they would get divorced, and the Korean women were able to stay here, and they get with their own kind, you know. There's a big Korean population around Fort Hood, Texas. I'm sure other Army bases. Anyhow. Yeah. So, but I'm looking for a good looking, but subservient Ukrainian, Romanian, Polish woman. You know, on the cheap. So if any of you are watching over there in Eastern Europe, let me know. I know, Shagdog here, Spitter Swallow Beer Review, drinking and thinking. There are only two subjects I had. It was Janet Jackson, Ukraine. Anyhow, the thing about Ukraine, too, if you look at Russia, it's almost like history repeating itself, because Germany, from 1936 to 1939, kept taking different, we went to Sudetenland, Czechoslovakia. And then they end up, oh yeah, we'll want to join you, and then end up taking, or Czechoslovakia, whatever the hell it was, and then Austria, all these different areas, and then we want Poland back. Of course, Poland they had to fight for. It was first, because there was, I mean, you can't really blame Germany, because after World War I, they took a lot of their lands away from them, and there were German people still stuck in those areas in Poland, Austria, Sudetenland. I mean, I'm not going to say it was the right thing to do, but now you got Russia going to Ukraine. They declared those two different areas in eastern Ukraine are Russian or independent, whatever. Now, what's going to happen? They'll wait a while. maybe take the rest of Ukraine, maybe go into Romania earlier. We got half of Romania are pro-Russian, because during our Iron Curtain years, yeah, good times. And maybe there's some Germans in Germany, for all I know. They're my age, German people, or a little bit older, that were either teenagers or in their 20s back in the days of East Germany when they were part of the Iron Curtain, that are like pro-Russian. Who knows? But maybe they're like, wow, that was better back when I was a kid or when I was in my 20s. Yeah, who knows what the fuck, right? We did better in the Olympics back then as East Germany. We shall see. To me, though, it's looking like Germany all over again when they took a little land here, figure 2014 they got Crimea. The Civil War type thing's been going on in Ukraine ever since. Yep. Who knows? Shagdog drinking his thing now. You got any questions? Just that. I'm waiting. I had one viewer. PA Brew News. Thanks for watching. Be great with Jammer on here still. I believe Jammer is working tonight, so he's sleeping. Thanks for watching PA Brew News. It is what? I don't know what the hell tonight is. Tuesday night. Well, yeah. I should do one of those legal things, get one of those cable boxes or Android app type boxes, so I can watch every streaming service and only pay $16 a month. But I haven't done that yet. I still pay the companies. I'm on Disney Plus, but they're about the Boba Fett season's over, which was horrible, except for the couple episodes that the Mandalorian was in. But now I'm looking forward to the new Game of Thrones season, the prequel, 300 years before, or whatever hell it was, Dragon something. And the new Lord of the Rings prequel also, that looks pretty good. But I'm also thinking about getting HBO Max just so I could, because I've seen the first season of Mother or whatever hell it's called. I want to see the second season, and maybe even Peacemaker. I might want to watch that, because I think John Cena's funny. Big, muscular, dummy, funny guy, and I like superhero type stuff, so, if they throw any Easter eggs in there, it'd be great. I've never been a big comic fan. I never collected comics or anything, but I've always been interested in almost the mythology of comics. DC Comics, Marvel, almost like they are. Like the Justice League is like the Greek gods. You got Flash is like, fast guy, the strong guy. Wonder Woman, Superman, strong guy. Yeah, like Zeus almost, or whatever. Whoever, Hercules, something like that. Batman, almost like the god of the underworld. Robin, his little boy toy. Can I say that in here? Oh well, I did. Aquaman, Poseidon. It's like the Greek gods. It's like mythology almost, and just the different heroes and the different types of powers they have. And when they come out with like different heroes with new powers, you're like, wow, I never thought that was possible. And who the hell brainstormed some of these powers? And one of my favorite shows ever was Heroes on NBC. I thought the first season was great. The second season was third season was good. Then the fourth season sucked. So it really, anyhow, was a great show. Then they did a sequel, Heroes. I forget what the hell it's called, but it was supposed to be Claire's kids, twin kids, pretty much. The only ones from the original show was Angeline, Hiro Nakamura, and Matt Parkman. I believe there were only three from the original show, so it wasn't that great. because I only watched the show really because of Peter Petrelli's character and Siler, really. But there you go, hero mythology, right? That's why I like comics. I didn't never collected comics. I've had a couple. I bought a couple. I think my first comics I ever bought, physically bought with money when I was a kid, was Iron. They were called Heroes for Hire. It was Power Fist and Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man and Power Fist. Iron Fist and Power Man. Iron Fist and Power Man, Marvel. And Firestorm for DC Comics. Dude with fire coming on his head, nuclear powers. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. That was my first two comics I remember buying. It wasn't Superman, it wasn't Spider-Man, it wasn't Batman. It was those two that I actually bought. But I've never been into comics or anything. But I did buy some action figures one time. Like, wow, that's cool. I collected some action figures. I probably had about 20, a little bit over 20, around 20 action figures. I set them up on a table, like they were fighting each other, bad guys against good guys. And it was pretty cool for about a minute. And then I kept them for all those years, but I put them in a box, after a couple months. My girlfriend complained about it. So I put them in a box. And after a bunch of years, I sold them to a guy who ran a comic shop that I knew. And he probably got a good deal. I sold them to him for like $40, or I can't remember what it was, but he probably sold them for even more. So, and that's about it with comics. Yeah, I do watch all the Marvel movies, DC movies. I think Marvel does the better job in the movies. DC does a better job on animation, I think. The Batman animated series in the 90s, Superman, Justice League Unlimited. Great compared to what Marvel has done over the years. So, of course, if you can't translate it to the silver screen, then what good are you, right? Dark Knight. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, that shit was pretty good, but there's a few things missing in there. And of course, they do away with him and another Batman. Now there's a new Batman. I mean, come on. How many Spider-Mans have there been so far? 3, which, of course, has been 20 years. But how about to get a 6-year-old to start playing Spider-Man? Let him play Spider-Man for the next 20 years. Show how Spider-Man ages through the years. Come on. Can't have a little kid in there every time. Thanks to my one viewer, whoever you are. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like. Especially if you're on Facebook, go to the YouTube channel. Subscribe. You click the little bell thing after you subscribe. You get all of our videos once we upload them or go live, like I am right now. I don't know if Jammer fans watch right now or PA Brews News. I'm about to finish this one now. Yeah, so what we talk about? Jan Jackson, Ukrainian comics. It's all funny. And forgive me for being a little buzzed. I did 3 beer reviews earlier, recorded them. I did 1 beer review live. All pretty strong beers, plus drinking this one. Yes. Yes. Yeah, good beer though. Miller Lite. Well, anyhow, I'm trying to finish this beer. My mustache is really hanging low, like you know what. But catching too much of that beer won't stay up. The mustache, not me. It's been a good beer review. I did have one really good beer. The 3 other beers weren't too great. The one I did live was pretty good. So you can check that video out right now. It's already up on Should be already up on YouTube. And I'm about done with this one. We're going to call it a night. This chair is not very comfortable at all. I gotta get a more comfortable chair. Holy shit. Anyhow, shout out all the beer reviewers and our subscribers, such as PA Brew News, Jammer Fan, Mr. G. Yeah, keep watching. More great beers to come. I'll probably delete this one off Facebook because usually I post these on Facebook. I'm like, man, I can't believe I was on Facebook drunk. Let me delete that. So I usually delete it the next day. Matter of fact, on here on StreamYard, I don't even think I can view how many people are viewing me on Facebook, actually. I'm going through StreamYard. I'm not on Facebook, so. Anyhow, this is the last beer for tonight. In case any of you missed it, what's today? February 22nd? 23rd? 23rd now? It's after 12? Okay. Shagdog Spit or Swallow beer review. We'll see you on the next one. Rugby.